Hello, I'm Jesse Cupp, Chair of the Visual Arts Committee, and I'm pleased to show you the first of 6 art boxes. This one is painted by Vanessa Stafford. It's part of the Sidewalk Studio pilot program that the VAC, or Visual Arts Committee, voted on March 14th. That's when we selected the artist. So as you can see, this is a Mountain View cityscape, which shows the architecture of City Hall and the Center for Performing Arts very nicely in miniature form. On the other side, you can see some nice native birds that might hang out in our wetlands area. And also in the background, the Shoreline Amphitheater is visible. Technically, all of these boxes are signal boxes, not utility boxes. The signal boxes are owned by the city and control the traffic lights. Since they're city-owned, it was much easier to get permission to do them, whereas utility boxes may be owned by AT&T or another company like that, and they won't give permission as easily.
Thank you so much for inviting us to participate in this. You know, as we look around at our city, one of the things that makes it very unique is, the character of it, the look and feel. And art really adds to that. It makes it unique. It makes it very special. So I'm really thrilled that the Visual Arts Committee took this on. And to see this come to fruition has been really exciting. I know I'm personally looking forward to more things that we can do throughout the city, especially things like this where it's tailored to our city, which makes it, I think, even more special. So thank you very much to the Visual Arts Committee for doing this. You certainly have support from me to do more.
So this is the second utility box, or signal box. It's painted by Inga Lovella, and it's very good. It's very different, a little abstract. If you look, these are kind of semi-transparent crystals. They're painted with silver paint, and then you have human figure, the woman diving through, and then some really bright colored flower that really contrasts with the rest of the teal background. So I like this box a lot, and I'm glad it's in such a highly visible location right next to the train station downtown. I also want to thank John McAllister, one of our city council members, who's been our biggest supporter on the council. He's always asking me about public art updates and what's going on in the art world, giving us encouragement and pushing us forward. So thank you, John.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been my pleasure to advocate for more art in the city. I like us to know we've been known as a tree city, but I like us to also be known as the art city. It just adds a little bit of a spice to our quality of life, and as we continue, there's so much going development that we really can enjoy it and take advantage of this development and build art and incorporate art into the various aspects of the city life.
Yeah, and I agree that we have economic kind of boom that's been going on for years and years, and I think art is one of the pillars that has been missing in a way from the city. It hasn't been built up as much as everything else. We've got all the fine restaurants, we've got the jobs, we've got a lot of great things in Mountain View, a lot of culture, but we're lagging behind a little bit on the art. But that's changing, as you can see. Because I like abstract work personally, but she's very well painted. I mean, this is almost like photographic quality here if you look at the shading. So she's very talented in more ways than one. Our downtown Castro Street is a beautiful street and lively, but it is lacking a little bit in the art department.
So I was pointing out to Jesse and Lisa, we have this white wall in the background, and I consider that an open canvas, and there's an opportunity to put nuggets of art throughout the city in areas that people wouldn't normally look, but it just surprise people and make us that much more vibrant, and it's just more exciting to come downtown and find these new exciting little spots. So places like that, murals could go up there. Murals are getting a lot of attention, mosaics, a lot of stuff we could get done going downtown.
Oh, and also we have, if you look in some of the walkways between Castro and the streets on either side, the plants have been crafted so they're very artsy and they spell things out. To me, that's just another interesting element of downtown that people can enjoy.
This is the third Sidewalk Studio box painted by Christine Nguyen. And this one had the most community involvement. So as she was painting here, people would come up and ask about the box, and she invited them to join in and help her paint it. So a lot of different people came and helped throughout the day and late into the night, some nights, especially right before the deadline. Yeah, there was a deadline. And she worked right up until it. But she probably put the most hours into it out of anyone, actually, because of all these little scales, all the details. So what it is it's supposed to be a school of koi fish, and they're all just different colors, kind of all the colors of the rainbow in there, and they're all squeezed together side by side. I like this one. He's looking out right at you. That one's funny.
So
Yeah.
This is not a metaphor for the population universe.
It could be. It could be. Christine Nguyen was also our featured artist, and this is the box that we showcased when we had the grand unveiling of the completion of the Sidewalk Studio project. This is Signal Box number 4 by Catherine Beals. And this was the one that was the first to be painted. She completed it very quickly. She was on scene the first day they were allowed to start painting. And I really like the style. It's a little bit abstract, maybe impressionistic, you might say. And even though if you look at the clouds, they look simple, but they're also beautiful, in my opinion. They're painted quickly, but with style. So I like that a lot. And I like the poppies, the California poppies, showing our local colors here. It's just a beautiful piece.
So Jesse, this is one of my favorites, and I'm wondering, how do we protect these and keep them looking so nice throughout the years?
Excellent question. So we have an anti-graffiti coating that has been applied to these boxes, which helps it stay clean, and in case it's tagged, it's easy to remove. So basically anything that gets on top of this box, you can wipe off. And if it's something really bad, like if it was graffitied with a permanent marker or spray paint or something like that, you just use a special solvent that came with the anti-graffiti coating, and you get a rag and wipe it right off. That will take off the anti-graffiti layer, but it won't damage the original painting underneath, and then we can reapply the layer as needed. So that should extend the life of this box. We're thinking they'll last about 10 years. It depends on conditions. Similar boxes last a much shorter amount of time in Santa Cruz, due to the salt air that erodes it. So it depends on local conditions. If more sun means the box won't live as long, stuff like that.
Hey Jesse, why do we only have 6 boxes?
So the Sidewalk Studio pilot program was passed with an extra $10,000 of budget from the city council. It was a one-time bonus that we got, and that was enough to cover basically just the 6 boxes at a cost of $750 per box. That was the stipend we paid to the artist. So since it's a pilot program, that gives us the flexibility to tweak that number up or down depending on future funding. But it's definitely a program that we want to continue. This is the 5th Signal Box, painted by Michael Foley. He's a fantastic local artist. He paints all over the Bay Area, but he's from San Jose. And you can see the character he has here. It's called an oni, which is the Japanese word for demon, and they feature heavily in a lot of his artworks, not just this one. As a matter of fact, I think the first box that he painted was in San Jose by my old high school, Bellarmine and it also has one of these on it. So these are his favorite kind of creature to paint. It's got a little skateboard here. You can see the trees are kind of, I don't know what to call them, cotton candy trees. They're purple and swirly. It's a little bit of an abstract landscape, and this guy is just having fun skateboarding down the sidewalk. On the other side, there is a female Oni who's taking a selfie with her phone.
Jesse, how do you determine which artist gets which box?
I believe that was determined by the VAC according to the most votes. So whichever artists were scored higher, we selected the boxes that we thought had the most. It was a combination of space, area on the box, and visibility. So we combined those two priorities. How big is the box and what's the location? And then whatever we thought the best box was, we give to the highest vote getter, and on down from there. But these are all great locations, great prime locations, because it is our pilot program. No other boxes have been painted yet, so we got to choose from the best. So I don't think any artist was shortchanged at all. This is definitely a prominent location here. We're on the corner of California and Shoreline, plenty of traffic, and it's a good spot. The artist did have a little bit of difficulty here while painting, as the pine needles rained down on his work while the paint was still wet. So I think the second day he came out with a tent to put over it and keep that off. But that's something we might have to keep in mind for future projects.
No, it's unique and distinct.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this is the sixth and final signal box painted by Megan Montanti of Redwood City, and it's a very interesting combination of underwater and land-based plants. So we have some sea anemones and some sunflowers all juxtaposed next to each other, and something you would never see in real life, but I think it turned out very well in art form.
Did they give you the background of why they chose what they chose?
So each proposal came with the design that they submitted and images of past works. Some of them had kind of an explanation of the work, and some of them didn't.
You're saying the artists were pretty much free to do what they wanted?
Within certain boundaries, yeah. We had restrictions on colors. It shouldn't be like all black or all dark colors, because that might overheat the electrical elements in the box. So it had to be on the lighter side of the color palette. We also decided not to have any words or lettering other than their signature, just so that there was nothing to do with advertising inadvertently or promoting other stuff besides this art project. And we believe we also had a stipulation that there be no religious or political messages. So other than that, they could submit pretty much anything they wanted to, and then as long as they got the votes from the Visual Arts Committee for it, it's okay.
So there are 6 boxes, but how many submissions did you get for these 6 boxes?
We had many submissions. We had a lot more than expected, actually. I think part of that was the slightly higher stipend we're offering. It will entice more artists to apply. And we were lucky we had so many artists to choose from, because in the past we've had problems with other projects where too few people submit, and it's hard to pick something good out of that. So when it's better to have an abundance of proposals than not enough, definitely.
You know, these boxes is a great start for the city of Mountain View. What do you see the potential of art growing in Mountain View?
So I definitely hope to see this Sidewalk Studio program continue in the future. Currently, the Visual Arts Committee is working on the public art strategy, which will encompass more funding and more locations for public art everywhere. The priorities are to have that art be very visual and highly visible to everybody on the street. So not confined in some interior courtyard of a new campus or something. We want it facing the street, the sidewalks, where everyone in the city can enjoy it. And that's something we're working on right now, and look forward to sending to you for input in the future.